Good evening, it's Owen and Julien Blanc. Oh, I'm in the lion's den. Oh, there he is. And what we're going to be talking to you about today here in Santa Monica, California, it's a community here in LA, is the topic of surrounding yourself with a council of people who will challenge you, a council of different types of personalities, so that you're not just hit up with yes men who will agree with you and not challenge you when you go off into your mind, into these weird areas, but people who will look at you and go, oh, no, dude, what? Come on, man. We're investing in your success here. You know, what do you care more about, your ego and feeling like you're right, or do you care more about getting from point A to point B where you want to go? And what we found is that when you make a decision to get out of ego and just feeling good because people are telling you, you're right, you're the best, wow, you're so smart, that's great, man, oh, bravo. And when you actually put people around who, because they truly value your best interests, will challenge you, not in a way to like be annoying and just make up problems to act like they're more valuable than they are in your life, but people that will honestly just bring up their different viewpoints, which is very natural that every human has their own viewpoint. By surrounding yourself with a council of those people, you are putting yourself in a much more powerful position to have massive success.
So we're going to start with a story about a client that came on a program with me when it comes to success with women, and he was very knowledgeable in the whole self-help world about only surrounding yourself with positive people. It's like cut out negativity from your life. The number one tip is you are who you surround yourself with. Cut off negativity. Anyone who whines, anyone who bitches, anyone who just says stuff that kind of pisses you off, just cut them off, and you will, kill it in life.
Let your feelings be your guide. If it doesn't feel good, it's low vibration and cut them off.
Exactly. So that's what he did in his life, and he comes on this program, and he just absolutely wants to kill it. Really positive guy. And I start giving him some feedback, just very real, raw feedback, this stuff he needs to hear to just crush it even more. And I saw him starting to experience a little bit of resistance and looking a little confused. I'm like, is everything okay? And he's like, well, I don't know if I should say this, Julien, but I've made it, I put in a lot of work to only surround myself with positive people, and I just freak out whenever there's something that's not positive. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is still very positive. It's the stuff you need to hear to just really kill it. And he's like, no, but it can only be positive, and it has to always be, how to say it, in agreement with everything that I already believe. It can't really challenge beliefs because then I don't feel too good and I don't feel positive.
Now, did he directly, explicitly say that, or was it kind of just implied with the frame behind what he said?
Directly, implicitly said
Really?
it. Yeah.
Wow.
I actually said it, I made an effort. This is my year. I cut off people. I fired people for not being positive. I fired people for disagreeing. I'm like, whoa. And he was basically using this idea of, cutting off negativity by just cutting off everyone who has, conflicting opinions and only surrounding himself with yes men.
Now, I'm guessing that he had a mindset of he's coming from a positive underlying frame, and positivity is always good, therefore it's justified. Because clearly he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Because was he running a business?
Running a business, sold it.
And successfully.
Yeah.
So he's smart.
Killing it.
Okay.
Smart guy, killing it. Again, very knowledgeable in terms of self-help. However, he took this piece of advice, only be positive, surround yourself with positive people, and basically used it as an excuse to just cut off anyone who disagrees with him, anyone who kind of challenges his way of thinking, his way of being. And you could just kind of see it in his personality. He was very complacent, very soft. There wasn't that kind of humph.
They call that fire in the belly.
Yeah, there wasn't that fire in the belly. He was like, oh, I'm very, very positive, yay. What? Kind of like that. And as soon as we kind of talked about this, and then he was like, okay, I'm going to be open to receiving some advice that, might not be, in agreement with my beliefs right now, that challenge my beliefs. He just started waking up and just absolutely killing it. But this is a trap that I see guys and women, of course, fall into all the time. It's like, only with positive people, no one that disagrees with me. And that's how you just become complacent. That's how you just become stuck, and you just lose that fucking aliveness.
Yeah, I'd say that it is very, very underestimated how much people naturally, how much you naturally, I naturally, Julie naturally, my wonderful cameraman naturally, will seek out resources that we agree with. And an example I can see is even say on the forum where guys will say, oh, there's this new study out and it says that alpha male behaviors attract women more than money. And I happen to agree with that. I'm pretty sure you happen to agree with that. But why the excitement? Why does that excite you? And part of it is because you feel good emotions when you see somebody who agrees with you.
Yeah.
And so we tend to seek out resources of what we agree with. Now, so, like take our chiropractor, the lovely Dr. Iris. I love her to death. What's up, Iris? She oftentimes will, maybe have a business challenge. And she's really into the kind of like the secret, the law of attraction, raise your vibration, and by shifting how you are within yourself, you will attract better circumstances. So oftentimes when her business has a new challenge, she might say, I think I need to, I'm kind of just paraphrasing here. It's been a while since she said this stuff, but it was like, like cleanse myself energetically, or I need to raise my vibration. And there's wonderful books that I know about that. My favorite author on that topic right now is Frederick Dodson, and it's just got some really cool stuff on that. I certainly don't agree with all of it, and anybody who does, I think, is really just an easy sell, but I love his books. But I would never recommend that to our chiropractor, ever.
Yeah.
Because what she needs to read is something nasty, something awful, something that would unsettle you, something that would make it that you can't sleep, like Felix Dennis. How to get rich, right? Felix Dennis will give such lovely, high vibration advice as, in business, you are a weasel who must slit the throat of your competitor. Go get into organizations, steal the secrets, and leave. Get a staff, hire them for 7 years, and once they are complacent, fire them all. Okay, somebody like that.
Which is an amazing book, by the way.
It really is. It's like I couldn't sleep after I read it. I was horrified, but at the same time, what was so wonderful about it is it's a conflicting view.
Yeah.
It shakes shit up. It gets you creative. And so does Dr. Iris, does she need to read yet another book saying, raise your vibration? She's been reading that, and she's still having whatever natural challenges that any business would have. Rather, the best thing to do would be to read a different book.
Yeah.
But for 5 years now, I'm like, Iris, read something like this. And she's like, oh, now. Oh, no. I'm just like, And, and it's, I use her as an example because she is highly intelligent, highly skilled, and very successful, and amazing at what she does. And to see even someone as smart as her having that challenge, and I've just said this to her so many times, so Iris, come on. To me, that's just an example that even the smartest among us have this challenge. And the reason why is whenever we read resources or are exposed to ideas that disagree with us, as far as I can tell, it actually kind of raises your cortisol. It makes you feel negative spikes of emotion, similar to rejection, because our egos are identified in our ideas, and when our ideas are threatened, we feel threatened. So the reason for me why I was able to push through that, to whatever extent that I can, because I don't think anybody's perfect with it, is simply that I've been punished and slapped for it too many times. So I've just had it to where I'm surrounded in my echo chamber of ideas, and then something goes really bad. And then what winds up happening is I get a lot of pain, and I get enough pain that I would call it creates an opening. And so it's similar to, say, Success with Women, where guys are like, I got this, I'm so cool, I don't need any help. But when that girl just rips their heart out and they're just in so much pain, it creates what's called an opening. And you can rarely say anything to anyone until it's essentially a seesaw. And when the seesaw gets to the point where it's more, and here's the key, it's more painful to keep believing what you believe, that would cause more pain to keep believing what you believe than the cortisol or pain spikes of having conflicting ideas. And all of a sudden the seesaw shifts where it's like, it's just more painful to keep believing this. Just fucking tell me some new stuff. Yeah. Come on. And it creates an opening. So the question is, how cool could your life look if you kept that opening all the time? And I'm not saying that I can do it. Here's what I actually look like. People give me conflicting ideas, and I've seen video, because we're on camera so much, I know what I look like, roughly, and it's not flattering. It's not good, because people give me conflicting idea, and you'll see me kind of go a little in my head, maybe feel a little bit threatened, not so good. But the difference that I have, I think a lot of people don't have, is even as I go into this kind of negative pain state, while I'm in that kind of cloud of like, they don't know, I'm right, they don't know, I just keep replaying what they said, or I might even like write it down, like, some idiot said this, what a loser, oh, he's dumb, but I'll like cut and paste what they said, and in a day or two, when the reactive charge is gone, I will re-look at it, and once I'm not feeling threatened, by the idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And, and probably because we run a business, that idea would make us like an extra $600,000 in revenue if we could just listen, and I'll take the $600K to the company. So, okay, fine. Thank you, you fucking prick, but thank you. Your intentions were probably really nasty, but you're right. Thank you. Fuck you. I mean, thank you. Okay, right? Because it's not easy. Like, everybody think like, oh, it's so easy. I'm so objective. Oh, look at me. Fuck you. You are not objective. What are you? Are you Jesus? Do you walk on water? You're human. Your brain works the way that it works. So that being the case, barring that someone's like really wildly open-minded, it takes training. Yeah. And in my case, the training that I got was the cruel tutelage of just getting my face kicked in again and again until I'm like, okay, I'm ready to have some other points of view here. And what makes me sad is that most people, unless they're pushing themselves either professionally or in some kind of pursuit, are not going to be pushed to that point where there's an opening, so to speak, and they will go through life with this, and this is the key of death, is this I already get it mindset. And that's what it is mostly. It takes success with women, right? Every guy thinks that they know how to kick ass in a fight and to pick up a girl. And it's this nasty, I already get this mindset that limits you, and it limits so much possibility. And there's just such a great wealth of knowledge out there. I view conflicting opinions like this microscope, and it's like a different focus. And all your friends, or even enemies, so to speak, although I don't view anyone as an enemy, but people who might view you that way, if you actually keep in mind what they're saying, it's like having a microscope and you go click and you see a different focus.
Yeah.
Click, you see a different focus. Click, you see a different focus. And then you like boom, 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 points of views. And as long as you're able to kind of synthesize those and get some kind of idea about it, it can be amazing what you get out of it. And if it weren't for that, there's no way we would be at this point by now. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this, about those conflicting opinions and being open to them.
Yeah, if you look at anyone's library, like just the books they have, like my library is not just, all these spiritual self-help books. There's the beautiful spiritual self-help book about, let's just say, having a very healthy, loving relationship. And then right next to it, there's Pimp by Iceberg Slim. Like straight up. It's like, here's all this loving and care, and then get the bitch. Like full contrast. In business, it's the same thing. On one hand, it's, you know what? Just be very friendly and believe success and visualize success and it'll happen. On the other hand, there's the book where it's like, shut the fuck up, put your head down, and hustle. It's like they complement each other. I want one on this end of the spectrum, one on this end. And then depending on where I'm at, like sometimes I'm just too like hustle. I'm like, okay, let's chill out. Let's maybe read just relax a bit, visualize it, manifest it, and kind of focus on that side. If I drift too far on that side, then I'm gonna read the whole shut the fuck up, hustle, stop being a little bitch, so on and so forth. You kind of balance the two. And I agree too with that pain point. Like for me, the biggest opening I've had was going through that media scandal, obviously. Before that, I mean...
And you had a choice there, by the way. This needs to be noted. You had a choice to say, this has been exaggerated so far past reality. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Or you could say, you know what? Yeah, it's exaggerated, but there's some things here that I need to hear. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm open. I'm going to make change, and I am going to capitalize to the point that I will thank you guys.
If you're watching this, you probably also went through, some kind of life crisis, and that's when you really just change because it created that opening. And
or they get worse. They get better or bitter.
Or you just keep
better
going down.
Better or bitter.
Yeah.
They either retract more.
Assuming you made the choice to get better, to move up, you're probably looking back at that like, shit, yeah, it was painful at the time, but I wouldn't be here without that event or without those events. And life, I mean, this is my belief. I also think that life will find a way to kind of just try to give you that nudge to get back on track. Like those crisis moments only happen when you venture too far off on one side of the spectrum. So you venture off, you can start doing it yourself. Like, okay, catch yourself, build self-awareness, surround yourself with people that'll kind of snap you back. But if not, life will give you an opportunity to be snapped back. For me, with the media scandal, before that, and for a lot of guys too, it's breakups. Again, it's like,
breakups,
I don't need success with women. Break up, opening, okay, success with women. And
cheated on.
Yeah.
Having a girl in the club that goes with another guy.
Like one of those like really extreme events that just makes you challenge and question everything. It's like you're so buried, it's like ugh, you just can't stop ignoring shit. And
they call that a recalcitrant experience, or you acquire a new recalcitrant belief. It's an idea that might shake your whole frame. It makes you look at things in a new way, like the Earth isn't flat, it's round, or things like that.
I'd add also an example, like on the opposite of Dr. Iris, who's very, woo-woo, so on and so forth. We have a lot of friends, like business friends, who are just very, fuck that woo-woo shit, just really, again, hustle, head down, beat yourself up, like, you've got to make it happen. You got to fuck everything till you get there. And there are some benefits. Like, yeah, they do have at times a work ethic. It's not sustainable, but they have a strong work ethic. Instead of, just sitting back, like waiting for something to happen, they'll actually make it happen. But it's also very limiting at the same time. It's like you have to combine the two and be open to paradoxical ideas.
One of the great signs of an intelligent mind is the ability to hold conflicting views in your mind, or paradoxical ideas, and not necessarily need to resolve them. And this is very difficult to understand, but the map is not the territory. So the verbal idea or explanation of something is still limited because it's a map. So sometimes there just isn't a way to verbally communicate an idea, and that's why you need conflicting views. Now, this is so critical because consistently across the board, what you're going to see is people who don't have conflicting feedback really go in a direction that you would never want to go in. The greatest example that we see here in Los Angeles is you see, young, beautiful women. Mm-hmm. And you can see they have, a beautiful feminine spirit, and they've got a lot to offer, and they radiate energy in the environment, and they have so much great stuff going on. At the same time, a lot of guys, I think, are mad about this, but I feel more of an empathy or sympathy or whatever you'd call it, because what winds up happening is they have a lot of booby traps. And these booby traps that these, girls have thrown at them are, you know what, girl, you're a rock star. Oh, great idea. The girl says something dumb. Great idea. Bravo, because they're in a laundry machine of false feedback from guys who want to sleep with them. And so because every guy either wants to sleep with them or girls want to be friends with them or to get social proof, they wind up getting this huge just torrent of false feedback. They never know what's going on. They never know, or not never, but they often don't know in the types of case I'm talking about. There could be a beautiful girl watching this has a different opinion, I guess, but in the cases that I've just personally seen, the girl will have so many beliefs that are just wrong. An example is, here in LA, is cocaine doesn't hurt my brain. You're a rock star, girl. Like, so many of these really hot girls in LA are on cocaine. That is a horrible example of false feedback, because you're getting a substance that is really messing with your brain chemistry and turning your brain into Swiss cheese in certain respects. What an awful one to have false feedback about. Her personality could be just getting rotten and nasty, and she doesn't know. And when she gets older, she hits that, later phase of her life. And you'll see this in LA. I've seen this, me and you, out, where a girl is, getting up there in age. She's hitting the wall, and she walks up to a bar, and she tries to stroll in. She's like, me and my friends are going in. And the bouncer says, no, you're not coming in. And that's that moment when she realizes, I have a rotten personality that's never been put in check, and I don't have my looks anymore. And I've seen them have these demonic outbursts, like, fuck you, and like calling the bouncer ugly, like, you're fucking ugly, you motherfucker, wah! All this kind of stuff. And it's this crazy false feedback. So anytime that you get feedback that contradicts you or makes you feel like maybe you have to look at yourself, just ask yourself, do you want to be like one of those hot girls who is in a laundry machine of false feedback? Yeah. And I think the answer is no. Now, let me go even deeper on this, because I think this is really, for me, this is why I'm so passionate about this, okay? This is like the core of why I'm so passionate about this. Not only is having conflicting opinions around you needed, in my experience, for making large amounts of money, for making progress as far as your inner game, your outer skills, your income, your health and whatnot, I also believe that what happens is that you can actually go so far off the path that you may never find your way back. Let me just kind of give an example here. So I've been running Real Social Dynamics since 2002, and I've had the privilege of working with a lot of great people, just amazing people that I've got to work with. And sometimes we work with just incredible talents, and these are just amazing people. And one of the roles that I'm really excited about is that I can help them to meet their potential. So that's kind of where I come in. I really want to see people blossom and do what they're capable of. That's something I'm really passionate about. So sometimes I'll have a guy who just has so much potential, but maybe there's certain things that they're doing that are fucking him up. It's just not good. They have certain habits they have. And I will continually give them gentle but firm pushback. Just say, hey man, having a look at that. Where's that taking us? What's going to happen with that? Let's think ahead here. Let's think of a great life we could have, and let's think what's going to happen if you do that. And sometimes that feedback that I give them, and it's a mutual exchange of feedback as well, because they're giving me feedback too, and it's hard for me too, you know. But the feedback I'm giving them in these instances, what's happening is it's annoying. It's just irritating. It's like, I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to hear that. And sometimes they wind up, you know, kind of not continuing to work with the team, and they kind of do their own thing. And this isn't just public people I'm talking about. I'm talking about any position in real social dynamics. And I've never once seen a case where that person went on to just do awesome, and like that habit just stayed as not a problem. Typically what happens is that thing that they found annoying that I was talking to them about actually grows. The energy is expanding around that problem that they're doing, and it winds up overtaking them. And typically they go from doing really cool, creative, passionate work to probably just slowly running out of cash with what they're trying to do, and then going back to a very regular life. And that's fine, regular life is cool, but there was just so much more potential. And because of that failure to be open, they've gone from a really cool life of potential to actualizing their gifts to something where they just are living a plainer life because they're not able to function at a high level that's necessary to do that. And so, you know, one example, this is from a little over a decade ago, so I feel comfortable sharing this because anything recent I wouldn't really get into just for politeness. I think this thing's whack, but there's a guy a decade ago. This guy, reason I bring him up, fucking so smart. Like this guy's mind, I remember just like looking up some things he'd written on a blog, and I was like, it would be a privilege to meet this guy. This guy's my hero. Goddamn, this guy is my fucking hero. And so he came on the team, and you know, he probably would have his own take on this, of course, and he'd probably even be right. But just the way that I took it was he would communicate with people in a way that was very condescending and very kind of like guru-like, and kind of like talking at them and not with them collaboratively. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like, you're so smart. Oh my God, can I have your brain? Like, fuck, dude. But he would just talk like that. And he also would do things like smoke cigarettes and not take care of his health. So I would always kind of give him blowback, like, dude, put down the cigarette. Don't smoke. Dude, don't eat that. You know, just like, bro, come on. Like, think of the bigger picture here. Or like, if he's, you know, speaking at people and being condescending, I'd say, hey, you know, these are our people here. Like, let's still get the idea across, but not in a way that's like win-lose. Let's do it in a way that's win-win. So eventually he went off and he did his own thing. And, you know, I didn't hear from him for a couple of years. Next thing I saw him, I think he looked like he weighed close to 300 pounds. And just looking out of his mind and talking to people in that condescending way. But now it's funny, energy rarely stays the same, it expands. Yeah. So yes, he got rid of annoying me, telling him don't talk like that, but now what's happening is he's like, bah, bah, and he's just bitching people out, he's just being a cunt, total cunt to them. And look, I do it sometimes too, I think we all do. I'm not judging him, I'm like just amazed by this guy, I guess. But what I'm trying to communicate is, you take, let's say that you have a lot of people who like you. You take that as a constant. You're like, people like me. But in fact, it's not a constant that people like you. It's a variable. And what that means is that people liking you and thinking you're cool, part of that is the people who you surround yourself with that have an influence on you. And that influence that they're having on you, you are who you surround yourself with. So all these people liking you, a big part of that is because other people are having an influence on you. Like, take you with me. You've had a great influence on success with women with me because you're just very skilled at that. So because of your influence on me there, you know, I originally would have taught you many years ago, and then you just went like that. And I'm like, well, okay, what's he doing? So you taught me. So now with real social dynamics, I have that influence, right? But now let's say I never talk to you again. Do you know what I would do if I was never gonna talk to you again? I would immediately be like, how good I am at game, I have to actually get other people around me that will provide that, or other perspectives that you have. I immediately would know that, because I know that if I don't have, like, a big thing for you is like, you take breakups very well. For whatever reason, you just do. Yeah. I don't. That's what we learned from the breakup video from like 2 years ago. I don't take them well. You know, I'm like, oh my God, right? You're just like, you know, like you have a way of looking at it. So because of that, you have an influence on me. So there's different influences. You know, you're also quite level-headed in certain perspectives and things like that, right? So if that's taken away, I understand that this guy that I am, let's say that in some areas I'm level-headed. Let's say that I, take breakups at this point well. Let's say that, I'm proactive in, say, successful women or things like that. I know that's an influence that you have on me, right? Because I know that when I'm sitting there, since I first met you, if I wouldn't say go to an approach, you'd go, hey, Tyler D. Yeah, you'd be like, okay, Tyler D. You'd always fuck with me. You'd be like, believe in your faculty. You'd be like, trust
your faculties.
Yeah. So he would throw blueprint words at me, like words from the blueprint. He'd be like, Tyler, trust in your faculty. Shit that I had said, right? Limiting belief, Tyler. And I'm like, okay, and I would go in. So he would push me to higher heights. So, you also were really good at getting into hard to get into clubs. Right? I go to the club and I'd be like, well, we don't have a way in. And you'd be like, fuck this. And you just go grab 2 girls, walk up to the bouncer, boom, and do it.
Yeah.
And then you got me doing that. I don't even know if I went to the point of how well you did it, but I could do it to an extent. So those are influences. So without you pressing on me, or even when I think at one point I wasn't even going to do another hot seat event. This is an event that we do. And you were like, what about the legacy? We talked about this. I was like, okay.
I remember that, yeah.
Right? I had the fire in the belly for certain aspects of the business had gone out. And weirdly, that was probably a fire that I initially lit up in you. And then I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, dang, the legacy. And I'm like, whoa, okay, right? And that's the conflicting views. Or take a guy like, say, Papa Nick from RSD, right? His viewpoint is so crazy different from, say, mine or yours.
Yeah.
And yet, if you don't have that certain conflicting voice, how many things would you or I not have done with having somebody shaking it up?
Oh, yeah.
Or a guy like, say, Jeffy, who's just kind of like a badass and irreverent, and how that would have impacted me or you. Or Jeff will be like, oh, and you look like a little bitch. Things like that. Without those conflicting influences and many more, everything from books to friends to people I put around me to extreme people I put around me, I would have gotten so far off the path, I won't even know where the path is. I can't find my way back. And as rationalization after rationalization after rationalization just stacks and stacks and stacks, it becomes like this embedded Christmas tree lights twisted up of rationalization, and the person can never come back. Victim story after victim story. You try to call them out on one victim story, they don't want to hear it because that victim story is linked to another victim story. By the time that you call them out on it, their minds are breaking down. Their minds are melting down. If you don't have conflicting advice around you, your brain will get to the point that you're so far off the path that you can't even hear any good advice because you will melt the fuck down. And now you got to go like Tony Robbins. He's got to do a full intervention on you because you need a full pro to do an intervention on you because you're so far off the path. So that's why you always want, again, the conflicting opinions, and that's why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah. And that's really the cool thing too about having a team versus you being by yourself. It's every time, I remember when I was traveling a lot, every time we'd link up after, say, a couple months of travel, there was always a different, a little clash, and we'd kind of be challenged in terms of our viewpoints, our beliefs, because 2-3 months gone, you're experiencing this, you're growing in this area. 2 or 3 months, I'm gone, okay, growing in this area. We meet again, it's wait a minute, you believe this, I believe this. And then it kind of gets you questioning things. We'd both come out stronger out of all of those little clashes. And with the team too, it's everyone brings something new to the table, and we all kind of just complement each other and keep each other in check that way there. I mean, you were talking about how I inspired, with games, stuff like that. For you, a big one was, business and also just health and long-term thinking. Because, when we met, I was like, yeah, let's go fucking game, limiting belief, et cetera, et cetera. But I was also extremely self-destructive, very short-term thinking. I'm like, whatever makes me feel good and happy now, drinking, eating shitty food, just nihilistic, not giving a fuck.
And you're sick for 4 months.
And I was sick for 4 months, a cough for 4 months straight. Just
when you'd lie down.
It was so bad. I couldn't sleep. I was coughing so hard. I had to wait until I got so tired every night to fall asleep that as soon as I lie down on my bed, I'd pass out within a few seconds, or the cough would kick in again. It was horrible.
Because you're drinking Four Loko, alcohol, cigarettes.
It was bad.
Shitty food.
The most unhealthy. That was me. I was like, live fast, die young. Fuck it. And
which actually it can be powerful, but you want to get the good sides of that mindset, not the sides that destroy you.
Exactly. It's combine the good stuff from that with the long term, with the health, with the, taking care of yourself, and you just slay it. But for me, that was a huge influence you had and you still have. And I do remember too, every time we meet up, it's like, oh, cool, we're going to meet up. It's like, ugh, but then I'm going to have to hear the fucking pestering about this. Ugh, and now, I can't really drink. Ugh, and this and this and it.
Yeah, you got to put the drink down.
And it's like, I put the fucking drink down.
Cigarettes too.
Fuck, like that.
And you're like, I'm French.
It's like, I'm
Fuck off.
French. I'm from Europe, damn it. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, over a period of time, gone. And, thank fucking God for that. And it's true. Without someone there just, at that point, it was on a daily basis just pestering you about shit, I would have never have done it. Like, I'd have been like, yeah, fuck it. And probably at this point, I'd be smoking a cigarette, drinking a Four Locos. I'm delivering this video. Like, for real. And you can use this to your advantage, too, just in terms of being smart about how you go about things. Like, say you're trying to lose weight, surround yourself with people who are losing all this weight. If you want to start eating clean, read books about healthy food.
This is important, too, what you said about how I got you on the health. Mm-hmm. And then even now, you're healthier than I am now. So funny, like for example, I was probably more originally in a game, then you got more in game and got me more in a game. Or like I was more into, say, teaching the hot seat, then you got more into it, and then when I forgot about it, you got me back on it. Or I was more into health, and then now you're pushing me back on it. You're in like slim, like the way you look now is like a reversal of when we first met, when I was like 7% body fat and you were, right? So it's like a reversal. So it can actually get passed back and forth. Like you're around the right people. Sometimes you teach them something, and then later you fall off of it, but luckily you kind of lit the fire in them. You put the fire in the belly in them, and then they light it back in you, and then get your mind to re-engage on those topics too.
Yeah, and this helps you grow too, but even in terms of different programs that I put out, and I know that you put out too, I would never have been able to create such programs without all the criticism and negative feedback. It's like you'd think if you isolate yourself for like months on end and you don't look at anyone and you don't share the ideas with anyone and you perfect the product, it's going to be amazing. But in reality, no, because you get so caught up in your little subjective world, it'll be probably pretty fucking boring and flat and unrelatable. It's only when you start sharing some of those ideas and then you get the feedback. You're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that kind of challenges this. I should maybe explain it this way. Oh, and this and this. It's like you create something together. And also in terms of the people you hang out with, like even friends, like encourage them to be honest. Encourage them not to be yes men.
I just remember in forums, the discussion was so in depth and people were just picking you apart so much. That's why when we make videos, it's like, okay, here's the idea. Here's the way the idea could be misinterpreted. Here would be an alternate view on the idea. Here's the way to implement the idea. If you have this personality, you may implement the idea like this. If you have this personality, you may implement the idea like this. Shit, when we make a video with those elements, you think we're like a fucking genius or something, but we're not. We just participated in forums where the ideas were picked apart and then were resynthesized. And the mind, our reticular activation system, aka our selective focus, can only focus on so many elements. Not to mention that when you're invested in being right, you got to feel right, because then you get good, happy emotions. So then what happens is that you get it picked apart, and that's where these powerful philosophies come from. Is when there has been multiple iterations and feedback, and it's just shaped in like this fucking sword. So and those are the philosophies that I love. That's why the internet is really fucking cool too. So it's funny just to think about that in product creation or in sets of ideas or ideologies.
Yeah, it's like we're all shaping it together. It goes a little too far this way, someone's going to come and say, no, a little bit this way, and then you get that, boom, like really powerful idea, that powerful program.
So to conclude, you got to ask yourself a question. You're at a point right now, you got to ask yourself this. Do you care more about results, or do you care more about being right? You've got to admit that your mind is geared towards looking for confirming feedback from, like, either A, I like this person, like I like them, so they're right. Or B, does it agree with what you already believe? In both cases, if you like the person, or if you already agree with it, it's going to give you these happy emotions, and that's a bias that you have. And that being the case, are you willing to say, you know what? I'm okay to lose the positive emotions of only learning from people I like, from only learning from sources that I agree with. I'm willing to give up those positive emotions, because you are giving them up, and I'm willing to exchange that for a better objective result in my life. So I would challenge you, if you're a Democrat, for example, in America, go read a Republican book and pick out, and don't do so I know how to argue back against them. No. Do it, really understand it, really look at it. Say that you follow successful women. Go read a feminist point of view. Really look at it. Go find a mentor who's had a 20-year marriage and look into a 20-year marriage. If you're learning about, say, successful women from guys out meeting girls and kind of living the fun single life, and you don't have some kind of mentor of somebody who, say, had a great 20-year marriage, you blew it. Okay, so you need to get out of your echo chamber. By the time that you're done reading, say, a great spiritual book, you'll be 1,000% convinced that all you need to do is get in a high vibration state and you'll crush it, and that all that matters is spiritual growth and everything else is a delusion and everything else is a waste of time. Then you get involved in some business book and you're like, these guys are ridiculous. You're alive. Produce a result. Let's go. Let's do something. Let's get some hard skills that produce value and actually you get compensated for financially. So remember that you're in an echo chamber. Okay, it's echoing. Get out of the echo chamber. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to overwhelm yourself, like, you know, get to the point where you're like, I can't take it anymore. Do it to whatever extent that you can. And also, and this is the final thing I'd say, don't get to the point where you're kind of like poking at people to just be the critic all the time. I mean, like, take my and your stuff. I'm sure we get plenty of criticism mainstream all fucking day. So you don't need to be this like false critic, like, I'm not the yes man. I'm the anti-yes man. I've got a great point as the anti-yes man. I'm a hipster.
Never agree.
Right? But keep in mind that the guys like us do surround ourselves with aggressive type business people, borderline sociopath type people. We surround ourselves with hippy dippy happy people who live in their car and go, eh. And from the happy hippy dippy people, you learn how to be happy. From the business people, you learn how to make certain success. And we surround ourselves with a range of different people, and none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. I got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. We all got a long way to go. We're all working on it. We're all a work in progress. We're all evolving. That's the point. But the place on the spectrum that you've got to decide to place yourself, if you're serious about real results and if you're serious about getting to the promised fucking land, is opening your mind up to different viewpoints and realizing that humans, as dumb as we are, we're pretty fucking dumb, are also pretty fucking smart. And there's great insight to be gained from so many different areas. You don't need to like the person writing it. The person writing it could be a horrible, horrible person, but oftentimes it's the most extreme point of views that have the little chunks of gold. Learn to be a gold miner, okay? Not a bias miner, not a yes man miner, but a gold miner who can read a book where even 5% of it, you're looking for little nuggets of gold, and the other 95% you can recognize biases. Learn to recognize subjective biases. Learn to recognize when this guy's probably saying this for this personal reason of self-interest. He's probably in this echo chamber. Recognize the authors or the scientists or the psychologists or the person who's giving the ideas. Recognize their echo chamber, recognize their biases, recognize their self-interest, recognize their lack of larger picture feedback, but from there, give their ideas a chance. And if you don't believe this, just think of all the people who you might have told about, say, success with women or personal development or eating better or any of that stuff, and the crazy negative responses that you've gotten. And when you look at them and you say, man, your life could be so much better if you just woke up and got past this I get it mentality, and you see them wasting their potential, rather than saying they're wasting their potential, take that fucking finger, point it at yourself, and make a decision to say, well, if they're a human being and they're smart, and I'm a human being and I'm smart, where am I making this mistake? Things like 360-degree feedback sessions, or your friend, get your friends together, say, hey, I'd love you to give me a feedback sandwich, give me some good feedback, then give me some good critical feedback. People call that the negative. They're like, oh, is this the negative part? It's not negative. It's the helpful part. Get some good helpful feedback, and then from there, have them cap off on something optimistic. That's called a feedback sandwich. People are very open-minded to getting feedback in a feedback sandwich format. Do 360 degrees feedback. We do it all the time. It's very powerful. We do it on boot camp. We'd love to have you and work with you on 360-degree feedback, and we'd love you to give feedback to us as long as it's constructive and helpful. Thank you so much. Here from Santa Monica, we are telling you you're fucked up and you're wrong, but guess what? We love you, you're amazing, you have potential, there's some areas to improve, but you got a great future ahead of you. Thank you, we're out of here, and peace.
It was fucking amazing.
This was huge for me. This was so important.
This gave me by far the greatest epiphanies I've ever had.
We got like real deep, and I found some issues within myself. One of the best things I've seen so far in my life.
He's made me realize some of the things that I had been suppressing for almost my entire life.
This here, like, if you remember this and you take it with you, like, that's what you need. You can't bullshit your subconscious. Until you fully accept and release and go through and experience all the stuff you've suppressed, you're always going to be escaping. When the fuck do we actually sit down really get in touch with what's going on and like experience it. Where else are you gonna let loose like this? Where else? And where else are there gonna be other people who push you to let loose even more? Nowhere. Everything outside this room is telling you to do the opposite. As soon as you leave this room, you're back in society, back in a place where people tell you to shut the fuck up. They tell you everything that's wrong about you. They tell you to fit in. I don't care what is authentic in you, just keep it to yourself. You don't deserve it. Don't be happier than everyone else. Fit in. Ah! Now talk. Bring it.
This is the type of place that shows you what's possible.